welcome to Handpan Happy Hour. My name is Wallace. I've been here in Lexington, Kentucky for about 4 years now. Been playing handpan since 2017. And before we get into our question of the day, I have to give a shout out to my sponsors, Captain Wiggly's Tie-Dye Empire, as well as Hamsa Handpans. Below in the description is links to both of them. Please check out all their stuff. It's just phenomenal. So I'm really excited about this week because I have a user question for the first time, and that makes me super pumped. For episode 3, I already got somebody asking really awesome questions. The question that was asked was, what do I use in my sound baths? Do I use strictly handpans, basically? Excuse me. Do I do any ambient music? Anything else, including additional instruments? So I love to nerd out about this stuff, so I definitely wanted to talk about this regardless, like in the next couple episodes, so why not this episode? Let's break it up in a couple of things. So ambience, what do I do with ambience? So if you're interested in what sound baths are, by the way, as well, just a quick description. To me, it is different, and the comment as well, they were stating that sound baths are different for each person. I think that's 100% true. So the way I look at sound baths is like it is meditation for people that can't focus on breath work, but instead of focusing on the breath, you're focusing on the sound. And simply with the sound bath, I use only handpans for all of it, except normally every now and then I'll do an after effect with either chimes or a rain or ocean drum. So that would be my simple answer to that question. So let's break it down even further. Normally when my students come in and start coming in for the sound bath, I will normally have some handpan music playing. And I don't want anything that's super fast. I'm not going to go crazy. And if it's not me playing, as people come in, I normally will have something in the background. At the Sound Healing Center of Lexington, we have a speaker with a Bluetooth connection, and I'll generally, almost always, strictly either put Multi-Martin, because all his hour-long videos, it's something you can put on real quick, including on Spotify, and just forget about it. Basically, just let it go. And then if it's not him, I'll either put Ricky from Rewild Your Soul. His newest album is one of my favorites. It's super smooth. It goes through. In fact, you know what? I'll put it underneath as the find of the week. How about that? Like as I've been doing. So yeah, generally something between the two of them. Every now and then, Daniel Waples. I've been doing Luminescent just because of the harp, and handpan's perfect for fall. It's an album, their first album's been something I've really been listening to a lot in the past like 3 weeks. So yeah, as people come in, just have something in the background to really just bring in the vibe. And that's the thing, is getting people ready and situated in the sound bath. I think it's extremely important, no matter if you're using handpans, gongs, all the other sound healing instruments out there. I think it's really important as a sound healer or someone who's presenting themselves to do sound baths, to have ambience as they're walking in. So that's the first thing. Now let's go to what I would call the main course, is the actual sound baths in itself. So the way I do sound baths, I will have 3 out of my 9 handpans that I have. You normally only see 4 in the shots of this. By the way, also, if you hear a cat, I got one in the other room that today she decided not to enjoy me doing this, so beg pardon on the meows. Mostly every single video anymore, just off topic real fast, is they always appear or say something, so I hope that you enjoy cats as much as I do. So, but anyways, so I will bring 3 of my handpans out of 9, and what I will do is have an intention of some sort. When I first start of that day, I normally don't think about it too much during the week and stuff, because I want it to be intentional for that day. You could have the best day ever, and then 5 days later you have the sound bath, and then that day comes in the 5 days, and you're like, well, I have all of my handpans set up, or handpan compositions or anything like that already ready to go, but now I'm not feeling those. And so, like, to me, it's just easier to not think as hard as my musician brain. So I've been a musician since I was 14. So like I've been in bands and stuff. In bands, you'd have band practice, you'd have all this and stuff, which it's good. It's great in my opinion to practice the handpans daily, which I do. But as far as like for sound baths, at least for me, I normally make the intention the day of, and I will start kind of conjuring what I feel and see how many people have signed up. If it's a bigger crowd, I feel that I need something that's more rounded, because you're going to have people coming from different portions of their life and times and moments of that day. And so it's just something, it's really important to mold the sound bath regardless once you get there and arrive and start making the sound bath have a wide variety of the course of meal. The way I see it is it almost is like having a meal. You want a appetizer, main course, and a dessert is the way I look at it and see it. And ever since I really thought of it that way, it's made more sense to me personally. So like once again, it is different for everyone else. I'm just kind of stating of what I do and how I do it. So since I bring 3 handpans, I will make sure that the appetizer, I have more melodies on my handpans. And by the way, yeah, it's 3 handpans, and then I'll nearly do chimes or something at the end, kind of just to bring everyone back into the room. So for the first handpan, I generally will rotate around like a D Celtic minor or any of the minor scales. I have a B Celtic, a B Kurd as well, which is basically B Celtic with an extra note. Or I will feel something else. Like there was last week, so it was a couple weeks ago, was my last sound bath, and I wanted it to be more grounded. So I brought the Sia Gene in, and G Pygmy at the end. So I kept it nice and grounded instead of, letting it go in different directions and courses. So, but I also ensured with a D Celtic minor. So I would say that if you have multiple scales, definitely a minor at the first. And then regardless, no matter what, your middle one, the main course, to me needs to be more grounded and or mystical, so to say, to where it will keep people into that. Because once again, you're kind of molding this, I almost picture it as a sphere, because in meditation, in Chios meditation, you focus on a round ball that's similar to the sun, and or like I would always picture a dodgeball with the rivets, and that's how you would focus and bring in to the meditation. So I look at it that way as well. It's like, how can I bring everyone into that center to where they're here, they're right here, they're in here, they're rising within and relaxed and calm completely. So generally, I will spend about 30 minutes. I do about an hour and a half sound bath, no matter where I'm at. I would do 30 minutes with the first pan. The second pan is really getting everyone into that center, into a relaxed state. And then normally the third pan for desserts is like, what kind of, and that morning, I'm like, what do I feel? What can I serve out of my energy to everyone? And then as well as like, what can I give people to leave with? Is normally what I feel, and then I'll look at the list of people and kind of feel what I might think, what they need, especially if they're regulars. I'm like, oh, I've already talked to these people in other sound baths, so I know that they really like this pan, this pan. So I purposely, every single, just because I'm blessed with multiple pans, I will mix and match and kind of fill out based on what I feel for that day. So my defaults, though, I would say, if you're thinking of like, well, what's your normal defaults? D Celtic minor for the appetizer, main course. Lately, it's been the Sia Gene. Sometimes I'll go into one of the pygmies, especially G Pygmy Revasse. That one's super grounding and just really it opens up. It almost feels like you're in a forest. So the pygmy scales for sure. And then for the end, if I want to feel like a good flow, because you have the D Celtic minor, G Pygmy for grounding, and then I leave everyone on a high note with the D major. The D major is positive, joyful, compared to a minor that's more sad or mysterious / whatever, they get people down into that G Pygmy. So it's really just like the silence and pauses are really important, like we were talking about in the last episode. it's really important to do your sound baths with that same type of flow. You want to flow down. If you're going to go down, make sure that you can figure a way to go back up, and vice versa. If you're up, go down real quick and come back up. Just make sure wherever you start at that you would kind of go around the same way, or as you're bringing people back into their awareness, you want them to balance out. And that's where the chimes can come in, or the ocean drum as well. I will normally leave at the last 30 minutes. I'll leave a little bit of a window of 15 to 20 minutes, and then I'll use 10 to 15 of those minutes with chimes or with ocean drum to just get everyone back into the rhythm of hearing something that isn't, well, it's calming, but it's not it's not like handpan, with a lot of silence and stuff. Generally, I have multiple people fall asleep every single time, every single sound bath, to where I actually talk about it at the beginning of my sound baths now. So often I'm just like, hey, if you fall asleep, all good, excellent. So I hope that answers some of the question. I'm trying to think if there's anything else really. Yeah, ambience at the beginning for sure, 100%. If you want to use chimes and stuff at the end, great. Compositions. This is another one. Also, as well as if you only have one drum. So let's do the one drum first. If you only have one drum, that's completely fine. You can create these same types of feelings and emotions in one drum. I've heard people play G Pygmies as a jazz scale. I didn't even know that it existed. Shout out to Ricky, by the way, on that one, because he was the one that showed me, and I was like, huh? So it's like any scale really can tell multiple stories. It's just really what you're trying to form. And the best way to know if you're going to do it right and stuff is just go out and do it. Go out and try. Generally, with my sound baths, I go a lot slower. But I do like to play fast every now and then. And what I'll do is use that as a segue at the beginning of the sound bath. There has been multiple sound baths where I've just used a D Celtic minor for the entire time. Thankfully, with my DIY one that is behind me, it has a tongue drum on the bottom, so I'm able to kind of flip the sounds at any point in time, and that is entertaining and relaxing within itself. So as far as like bringing your own compositions in, so I do trinkle some of my songs every now and then. I never plan them. I never plan them whatsoever. If I'm in the moment of the sound bath and really feeling the room, you really want to feel and see, and you can see everybody as in your sound bath, especially if you're in a group setting. You can kind of feel them. If like you'll see people twitch, you'll see people feel a little comfortable, and you'll really be able to feel that. And if you really tune into that, you'll know where to go. But generally, like every now and then, sorry, I got a cat right here. Here, we'll bring her in. Generally, when this happens, it just, as far as compositions, it just kind of happens. Like the last sound bath I did, maybe 2 of my compositions, and I didn't even go through. It's like I didn't feel compelled to have to continue the song. If I felt like a chorus from one of my songs really went well with the mood or how I was conjuring, like you're really like making a sound putty is the best way I can describe it. If it really like understood that and understand that, at that moment, then I was like, hey, I can bring that chorus in for this song real quick, and just let it flow with it, and then bring it back down to maybe a rhythmic pattern that I might have had at the time, or with something with pauses, bring some pauses in, bring some silence in, and it really just let it flow through. So I hope that I'm trying to think. It's like I've really dove into a bunch of different things and cat distractions, etc., which I do appreciate you guys staying with me. But if there's any other additional questions that you need or think of, whether in sound healing or just in general handpan, I'm here to talk. This is all I'm about. This is what I love about the comments and getting a question from someone, because I can talk to you live right there. Then there, I'm an IT guy, so I'm literally at a computer all day if I'm not playing handpans. So, a singular drum, real quick, really back into that real fast. If you're using one singular drum, just remember to use those low notes to keep for grounding and high notes to bring people either into awareness or to shine some light. And I think that you can use that for like literally any handpan. And you can do that for an hour and a half. And it's going to bring things out of people that you don't know. Some people might see visions. Some people might feel things. I've heard reports of people like feeling different things coming in, or like pain and because of different notes or things and memories that they brought up, or just they're there to show up. And that's the beautiful thing about Soundbaths, and I don't think people understand, is that they're literally there for what you need it to be. And I think that's the beautiful part. And every single Soundbath at the beginning, I always tell everyone, I'm like, thank you for showing up for yourself. I just get to be here to enjoy it. So, but yeah, once again, Pete Wallace from Lexington, Kentucky. I look forward to next week. We'll be diving into some more questions. Now, if I have any new questions from users, that will be next week's episode. So, fire away. Have a good one, guys.